Hello, Teaquilters. Today is Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. It is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're here for 1 hour live chat. So if you're watching, please post a comment in the chat box below. Also, if you're watching and you can't post in the chat box below, that means you're not subscribed to my channel. So please subscribe and then hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I go live. Just want to pause it on my phone because I don't need it to play for me. So hopefully you all are having a great day. I'm going to give people just a few seconds to get into the chat before we get started. Also, I wanted to show you some stuff I got from Checkers. Let me go get that. I forgot. I'll just sit this box right here. Maybe. Should I push it up? I don't know. We'll see if that works first. So let's see. Let me go out of chat and go back in because it's not giving me the chats that are currently being shown because it treats me bad. Let me go over here and tell it all messages. I had preset it up, so it doesn't like that either. It doesn't like for me to preset it up. So in the chat tonight, we have Sue Allen, Maddie Barnum. Thank you, Darcy, for my pinned post, reminding people to subscribe and also to check me out on Facebook at Teaquilts LLC. I have been denying a lot of requests lately because people don't have any Facebook friends, and they've been on Facebook since 2021. So I've been denying requests that kind of look like spam accounts. If I've denied your request and you are actually a follower, just email me at t@teaquilts.com, resubmit it, and then I will approve it the second time around. So just let me know. Janine Pfeiffer is here, Vivian Calvi, Melina Montoya. Make sure you also answer the 4 questions as well, because it'll be denied because of that as well. Bonita Nance is here. She's in a meeting. Brenda Perkins. Quilt Gal's here. Dolores Feltz. Melinda C. Melissa LePage. Claudette Hall. Sylvia Martinez. Nikki B. Sue GSD. Let's see. 315 days until our beloved T opens the doors to 2025 retreat. And I put on this shirt today just as a reminder that we are having a retreat for 2025. Somebody is saying get well soon to Sue Ellen. So here's to healing, praying you heal. Sue, I missed that. Margaret Hassler is here. Zella McKenzie from West Michigan. And then Sherry Ann Hughes from Victoria, Australia. So welcome, welcome. I'm here to go over this machine that I got here that you all can't even see the front of. I did just recently go and update the thumbnail just so you can see what the front of it looks like. This machine is way too heavy. I just put this up here so you can see it, but it's plugged in. So I don't know if I'm going to turn it around or anything like that, but I just basically want to talk about it. Not so much as like trying to do a sewing demo. If I was doing that, I would have to do like an actual video that I upload because you can't see from this side of the machine. Judy Hebert's here, Cynthia Shea from Chicago. Thank you, Brenda, saying love my hair. Thank you so much. Okay, first things on the list, just so we can get this out the way, I received a card. I'm assuming this one's from Maddie. She sent me a CashApp because the card hadn't came. So she says, girlfriend, it's your day. Look at this. It's cute. And then she says, savor the sweetness. Happy birthday. T, you are the greatest for us. Thanks for helping me learn. So thank you. Or making us learn. So helping us learn. So thank you. I appreciate that. I try to be a place where you can come to and ask a question and get a true, honest answer. And sometimes, it's great for the quilting side, for you quilter side, but it's not so great for the business side. But I'm still okay with that. So another thing I want to talk about is this Stylist sewing caddy that I made. This was the one that came with the pink zipper. I brought it back out because I just wanted to tell you, if you were interested in getting this, what the measurements are, if they got it in here. Let's see. It doesn't have the height on here, and it's supposed to sit kind of fat, be like a fat thing. But I used just regular batting, and they recommend that you use, it just says quilt batting, and I don't think it's stiff. In here I used warm and natural batting, and so I feel like it could have more body, although I feel like whatever I put in here will hold. And then I could also add a bottom, which I haven't done yet. You could add a Peltex bottom, and then that would work as well. And then it has these pockets on the outside that you can put your dividers in any space, any place you want, really. And then even before I got the second pattern out, I thought you could put some pockets on the lower side here. Like you've got these pockets on the outside. You could put a pocket on the inside in the same space. And lo and behold, I went and opened up the larger size, and it has just that. They did that. They put a pocket on the inside. So this should be 6 inches wide this way. So let me show you the base. 6 inches wide by 8. And then the height, if I press it out, I think we said it was like 5 or 6. But let's make sure. Oops. So I'm just trying to give you all some measurements. So this is around 5 inches in height. Then we've got this other pattern. I can probably give you what the bottom is 10 by 8. So we're going from a 6 by 8 to a 10 by 8. So that's the 2 inches in the size difference on this. And I might be, okay, finished size. Here it is. It says I got it right, 5 inches tall. It's 10 by 8 by 6 inches tall. So it'll be an inch taller, 2 inches longer, 2 inches wider. So I might make that one. And then I did notice that they give you, again, the back hardware for the larger pattern, and that the zipper is not pink this time. So that's really nice. Although I probably won't be using it anyway. I probably use a continuous zipper. You know, it doesn't matter, but I probably will, because I probably put, if I don't use something that has this color green in it, I don't want to use that zipper. But it is a nice zipper with a pull already, and it's not a separating zipper, but it's one of those thicker plastic zippers like you would have on some clothing. So I just wanted to go over that really quick. I'll sit it right here in the back where everything else is that you can't see. So yeah, I just wanted to come back and show you the bags, and I'm thinking about making the big one. I really like this one, and it's bigger than I thought. So for 8 by 6 by 5, it doesn't look, when you hear those measurements, it doesn't sound like it's something that's pretty big. And even the amount of material that I cut, it didn't look like it was going to be this big. So this bag actually does get pretty big for the size materials that you're cutting. So I do like that. So I'll just sit this back here. And let's see. Let me welcome the next group of people in. I missed quite a few people. Delia Short, welcome, welcome. Betty Ward. And she goes, yes, it's me. Yep. Carissa Renninger's here. Minnie Dula. Sue Allen. Deborah Sims Brown. And Carissa says that she also would make it bigger as she hauls around a lot of stuff. So what I decided to do with that is that I'm just going to use it to hold my bag making supplies. Like I have stitch witchery, double stick tape, chalk pens, white marking pens, disappearing pens. So I decided to just make a bag for the stuff that I need on a regular basis, that I'm always like up and down trying to get stuff. And then if I just make a bag and put everything in there, then it's in the bag. And what's nice, which I didn't open it for people that didn't see me sew it, is that when it opens up, it opens like all the way up. You see? So that's what I like about the bag, is that it opens all the way up. Now, I don't have all of my bag making stuff that I want to put in here. So when I make the larger one, who knows, I might switch that and change my mind. But for right now, that's what I'm doing with it. And it's not for all of my bag making supplies. It's just for those notions that I feel like I need to have on hand and not be futzing around going all these other places to go get something because it's stored somewhere else. So I'm just trying to get what I need to be stored in there. Anita Scott's here. Welcome, welcome. Yolanda Reza. I think it's Reza. I'm sorry. Michelle the Quilter. And hold on. Will it hold a mini iron? It would hold the Tula Pink mini iron, I think. Yes, it would. Like I said, there were some things that I would change. I would add the pockets, which they've added. They also sewed a little bit different in the pattern as well. I noticed that. I haven't read it word for word. I was just kind of looking at what was going on. And then I'm also going to be using by Annie soft and stable foam instead of using batting next time, to make sure. You could also, if you want to keep it thin, you could also use Decoville, or Decoville Light would be stiffer than batting, because batting is soft unless you densely quilt it. And if you densely quilt it, then you're shrinking the size, which I didn't want to do. That's why I kept the quilting pretty big. So yeah, it's just, all in what you want to do. There's more than one way to finish everything that we do. Carissa says she has one that was made for me from Tula. It's about that size. I keep my clips and stuff in it. So yeah, guess who Nancy is here. Welcome, welcome. So I'm trying to think, was there anything else I had to tell you? Don't forget that every month from July through October, you have a retreat payment. So you have 4 months of retreat payments. And then that's when I start paying things off and start scheduling the bus that we need, and then trying to figure out where we're going to go on this bus. I haven't figured out yet. I was talking with Kevin about this. I know a couple of people had mentioned, like, not like everybody, and I don't even know if they were coming to next year's retreat or not, but mentioned Hancock's of Paducah. And I really think that that's a bad idea. Hancock's of Paducah is about a 3-hour ride from here. If you're doing, doing the speed limit, it's 3 hours. It's all the way you know, St. Louis is right on the end of Illinois, so it's all the way through to Illinois and then right across the Kentucky line. So once you're basically driving all through Illinois, across Illinois. The reason why I say I don't think that's a good idea is because Hancock's of Paducah is a very well organized version of your traditional Hancock stores. Number one. Number two, one of the pluses for the store is that they store fabric by designer. So I do like that. If you are a person that follow a particular designer, everything is stored by that designer. The third thing is that if something is cheaper online, they're not going to honor that price in the store. I've been in the store. When I go in Hancock's of Paducah, I go in the store with my phone already open because I go in trying to patronize the business. Sometimes I travel. If I'm traveling south, east, I'm going through Paducah because that's the way that it takes me. And I will go in there as my stop, because if I'm going to go somewhere, I can use the restroom, I can get some gas at that rest stop, I can get some food, and then I can get back in my car. And if I wanted to walk around, I just use that as my place for a break. Sometimes I buy stuff in there, and sometimes I'm in there and I'm ordering while I'm online, and that's because it's cheaper for me online. In addition to being cheaper online, when I'm in the store, I've got to pay tax. So if I order online, I don't have to pay taxes. And if you order a certain amount, you don't have to pay shipping. So most things, if you order just even one kit, you're going to probably have enough to get free shipping. They keep changing what their free shipping rate is. It was $50. It went to $75. I don't know what it is now. I haven't even ordered from them online in about a year and a half. So I can't tell you what their current shipping minimum is. So, and then the only other thing for us to do would be to go to the Quilt Museum. Now, if you want to shop hop, and I don't mind going to the Quilt Museum, but I personally think if we went to 3 different stores, I think you might enjoy that more. So I'm kind of interested and open for suggestions. So this is what you're going to do. If you have an opinion, I thought maybe instead of doing that we could go to the quilt shops in Iowa, in Lower Iowa. There's a minute, I don't know if they're Amish. I guess they're Amish. It's an Amish store that we went to. If you go back and watch 2022, I want to, maybe 2021 video where we did day by day what we were doing day by day and look at day 1. I'm thinking about trying to go maybe to the first 3 shops in Iowa. Iowa is right above Missouri, and it will take us about maybe 2.5 hours maybe to get to the first store, and maybe just hitting as many stores as we can hit. I have to track what those miles are so I can know how much we can do in a day, and then maybe taking you all instead to some Iowa shops. Yes, I'm one of those people that Hancock's of Paducah is great, and I feel like you do better online as far as with sales and deals than you will do in person. And I'm telling you, you can go up to the counter, you can have them call the owners, because they're in the stores and they're really nice too, but they're not going to honor any online prices or sales. So we just need to I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And only, like I said, one person mentioned it and another person said, that's a great idea. But as I'm thinking about it, I don't think it's the best deal. Can we do it? Yes, we can do it. Somebody's asking what pattern is that? The first one was the Stylist Sewing Caddy. And if you want the bigger one, it's the Stylist Sewing Tote. And the pattern is by, hardware is included in the pattern, is designed by Christine something of Pretty by Hand is the company, Pretty by Hand. Okay. And I'm trying to see. Website is prettybyhand.com. I did not buy extras of these to sell. If you all want me to order you some patterns, I can do that. We can talk about that. But they do come with the hardware in the package. Darcy says we need more people to hit that thumbs up button. So hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. Let's see. Let me go back and read these comments, seeing if I can get caught up. What pattern? I answered that one. Thank you, Nancy. She was telling people to hit that thumbs up too. Hi, Remo JS. And Sue says Iowa sounds great. Joe Carmel is here. Hey, Joe. And I don't know what Vivian is saying. YSE. And then she says, I do. So I don't know what that means. Sorry, Miss Vivian. So yeah, so I'm trying to think of something alternatively to do. And then of course we'll have some kind of local shop hop as well. And you might want to consider, we'll have some new people coming to retreat. So might want to consider going back to Also Personal store as well, because Kelly was really nice. She actually met us outside. We do 2 days of shop hopping. One is on a chartered bus. That's the one where I'm taking you a long distance. And then we also do shop hop where we do local quilt shops. But I went to 2 of the same ones. I think Jackman's is always a good thing because it's so big. They got a lot of staff. They can handle the checkout fast. I probably will not go to Quilted Fox next year. And I'm thinking about going back to Also Personal next year. I felt like she really did you all very well there. She gave you a piece of fabric, gave us discounts and deals that were for her members only. At Jackman's, they did special for us as well. They were supposed to only give us 10% off, but they made it if you spent $100, you get this much off. If you spend up to $200, you get this much off, and the thing kept going up. So it just depended on how much you spent as to what your discount was, and every level was higher than the 10% that they normally will give to guild members. So Jackman's was really nice too. So probably we'll go back to those two. I just personally feel like if I'm bringing you people to your store, I feel like they should be able to at least give you all 10% off on your purchases as a minimum. That's all I'm asking. I do ask, and sometimes I'm told no. So I just feel like if they can't do that, then why are we here? Because even if you pay half price for your fabric, and sometimes, you can get it on sale if you catch it when it's on sale. But if you're paying half price for your fabric, isn't 40% income better than no percent income? So I just don't understand how we can't get something off when I'm bringing in carloads of people into your businesses. So that's what my goal is. So, and then if the store, like I know Jackman's has a nice sales table. They have a big sales table with a big selection. And so that's another reason that I like going there. And then some stores are just lower priced than some others. And so that's why I like going to some others. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the shop hopping next year. Deborah says that I'm good with shop hopping first time, good with whatever. I love Jackman's and Also Personal, especially the deal on the cape. Yes, and like I said, that deal, if we had been in there on any regular day, you would have just got rang up regular, because that was not everybody just walking into the store type of deal. It's like they have these deals for like a weekend or something that you have to have the particular bag, and you bring that bag in, and it's teal or purple, and it's their bag. And then when you bring that bag, that's when all of those different deals that she gave or offered to the group, and then gave a fat quarter. So that was really nice. And she actually met everybody out on the parking lot too, which was really nice. So Vivian talking about, I love shopping. Oh, that's what she was trying to say. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, she was trying to say yes. I don't know. Oh, up above. Okay. So yeah. What else? Let's go ahead and go over, before I start talking about this machine, we're already at 30 minutes. Let me quickly show you what I got from Checkers. I don't know prices because I got all of these sheets. I be ordering from Checkers. I got 4 sheets. And they put stuff on back order, and then all of a sudden stuff will come in. And I don't have like every piece in here. I'm just going to tell you what I have, okay? So I have the Sheryl and Design Wall. Now, I've been using this for years. I actually bought the very first one that came out, and then as they made adjustments to it, it got even better. And I even went to them because told them that I had bought the first one, and they even gave me the other connections that they now include in the bag to make it sturdier. So I have always used this one. This one happens to be a 36 inches wide. I bought a 36 inch, a 54 inch, and then I bought 2 72 inch design walls for Teaquilts. And the reason why I did that was because at retreat this year, I took my own design wall. I had just bought a new one because I went to go buy a new flannel sheet, and the flannel sheet was going to cost me almost as much as buying a new one. And I go, especially being a business, because I shop wholesale, I don't get exactly half off, but I do get something off. But it was like I was going to pay $20 extra less, well, $20 extra to get a whole nother one. So that's what I opted to do, was just go ahead and get another one. I said, maybe, you know, I'll repair my sheet, put some duct tape on the sheet, it can still be used. But I didn't even put the second one up. But I put the first one up because Jason needed to use one at retreat. And so I ended up putting it up for Jason. Jason used, and next thing I know, I go trying to use it. Somebody else got their quilt up there, and I go back trying to use it later. Somebody else got their quilt up there. So eventually I gave up trying to use my design board until like everybody went to bed that night. So I thought, and this is how retreat expenses happen. Retreat is not always the things that you see, like your room and board and food and the bus. Retreat expenses include so many things. And what I decided to do was buy 2 72 inch design boards. One, because we're going to be in 2 rooms next year. And so I can put one in each room. Nobody is allowed to put a project up there and just leave it. But what you do is you put your project up there if you need to get your blocks organized, and then you take your blocks down in order so that you can go back to your area and sew them. So that way I've got now community design walls. And I just bought, I figured, you know, since I'm a business and I can write this off, that I went ahead and decided to order the other sizes, because maybe I'm going to need to, you know, I have my own personal design board and have to keep people off of it and put a little note up there, this is for T, because y'all know I'm not hardly in my seat. But every time I got ready to use my own personal design board, it was being used by somebody else, which I didn't have a problem with. So I went and made sure that I have those for retreat. Okay, so I bought this, and then some other people had ordered these as well. So I do have other ones. So I got 4 new ones for Teaquilts, and then I think 2 other ones were ordered as well, if I'm not mistaken. And the funny thing is, the reason why I had to order 2 for Teaquilts is because when I put it up, one of the retreaters was there and said, I want one of those. And I go, well, you know, shipping's going to be, you know, another added cost. And she said, well, can I take that one? And I'm like, you want to take the one out there? And she's like, yeah. So I had just bought it new, put it up, and then we took it down. I showed her how it come down, showed her, you know, it's the reverse of how, you know, to put it back up. And so she was really happy that she was able to take it with her and not have to worry about having it shipped. So that's kind of how it worked out. So that's why I had to buy 2 of the 72 so I could have 1 in each room next year at retreat. So, let me read. Deborah saying she can't wait to partake in the retreat. Vivian says, yes, for the pattern. You should sell the pattern. Oh, okay. I'll order. If somebody wants it, let me know. I'll order you one, Miss Vivian, next time I order. Kim says, I love shop hopping. I ask for discounts if I buy the end of the boat fabric while shop hopping. So that's good too. Laurie Wingman says, wow, I am able to join a chat. Hello, everyone. Looks like a great time. Yes, yes. Christina's here saying hello. Kim says she's got the 72 by 72 in her room and love it. That's Kim B, because we got another Kim R. And Deborah Holloway is here. Phyllis G is here. Cheryl Knuckles came in. Teresa Dawkins. She says, Deborah says, I can't wait for a retreat also. So, yeah. So, another thing that came in that was big and huge that had been on back order for so long is the Tula Pink Oliso mini iron. So I had one on back order for so long that I just gave up on it. So I got 2 of these in, but one of these is for a customer, so it's already gone. So I will be getting this plus this person wanted the mini iron carrier, the little purse that Sue calls it. So I got that in as well. The purse I already had. They sent me the purse with no iron. I'm like, what am I going to do with this purse and no iron? Okay. So yeah. So this is another person's order. I'm in the process of packing up orders, but I wanted to show you all some of the stuff that had come in. On Checkers, doing Left-Handers month of August, which yesterday was National Left-Handers Day. They'll have left-handed stuff on sale. So I ordered another pair of these Fisker left-handed scissors. These are the scissors that I told you all. I bought 2 pair, and really I don't need to replace them, but I decided maybe I should go ahead and get another pair. I'll put a little mark on these so I know these are the newest ones, or some tape or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I thought I'd go ahead and order another pair. I cut through zippers with these, paper, whatever, and they still come back and cut fabric pretty good when I needed to. There are some new thread snips out, and they look so much like Ginger on the, you know, as far as style. This looked like Ginger model, and I don't know how they got away with this design. And this is Eberl Crafts titanium scissors, so titanium snips. So I got that to test them out. Oh, I didn't realize this had a handle. This also has a handle. It was claiming to be light, but the black part looks just like the Ginger snips. Again, the black ones, but without the handle. So I thought I would get those and try those out, because if I'm going to be doing sewing kits and stuff, maybe I might want to put one in my bag thing. So if I'm going somewhere, I'll have it. Don't have to worry about taking mine out. I told you all that I was having some, I had bought some double stick tape, probably from the dollar store a long time ago. I know I've had it and I've used it, and it was just okay. And then I hadn't used it because I haven't made a bag in over a year where I needed double stick tape, and I go to pull it out and it's not working. So I went and bought 3 of the by Annie's basting tape, because I'm like, if this stuff doesn't work, I don't know what will. And what I do like, instead of putting it into like a container that when you open it, you have nothing to put back in, at least these are in bags so you can keep dust off of it as well. So I bought 3 of those to make sure I have enough. So that's going into my bag. I needed new leather thimbles, so I'm trying out different ones. I do have a Roxanne thimble. Every time I use it, like after about 5 to 10 minutes, I feel like it just hurts my finger. And so I just don't use it. I got it more as a decoration. I even have the Roxanne bird cage for the thimble, but I just don't use it because it hurts. So I tend to like the leather thimble. So this one is a brand I had never used. Considine Creations. Never seen that before. So I bought one of those to try it. And there should be the regular leather in here, but I got stuff in a box. So let me see. That's not it. I got things in a box. This is it. So I bought this and it comes with 3 in a box. These are what I normally use. Every once in a while I feel like it can be kind of tall, especially in the summer months when I get hot. But I bought 3 of those. Those are what I normally use. So I bought that too. So when I have to do some handwork, I can put one of those in there and not worry about my thimbles not being in my hand sewing case when I go to do binding. Oh, and then this package here is Stitch Witchery. I've been using this on a current project, and so I thought, I kind of like when a bag is put together this way. Instead of me hand sewing it, I can just put some Stitch Witchery in it. It's on the inside of things that I can't even, where you're not going to see when you're flipping and turning, and you're not going to see it anyway. So I bought 3 of those because I've almost gone through a whole row already. So at Checkers, you can't, like certain things you can't just buy one of. I was able to buy one of these thimbles because they're a higher price point. Other things, they make you buy like a minimum, 3, 6, whatever that magic number is. And I do have one other thing I forgot to bring in here, but it's for retreat, so we won't talk about that. All right. So this is what I really love. I bought 3 of these. It's Choco Liner. I've got this in white. And I think I bought pink as well. Let me see what color's in this box. So that way, if I've got a dark fabric, the white will show up. And if I've got a light fabric, then I can use the, it says red, it says pink rose, but you know, it's pink when it comes out to me. But let me open it up. What I like about this, and I'm hoping I got the right one, is that it has a serrated edge on top. So you just roll it, like if I'm marking some kind of seam line I need. Yeah, it has a, you're not going to be able to see it, but it's serrated on top. And so you just roll it and then it comes off. So you can kind of see a little bit here. So you can see some of the chalk here and then there. So yeah, you don't have to deal with holding a piece of raw chalk. So that's why I like these. Put this in here so I don't, you know, lose it. And I may as well open another white one. I got to pick that one up off the floor. So we can, don't have to worry about that because I was needing chalk. I'd rather mark with chalk because I can just wipe it off or use a damp sponge to get it off. But when I use like white marking pen, it will iron off. Sometimes I don't want to iron it after the fact. And then the disappearing pen, sometimes it disappears too fast. Sometimes it don't disappear at all, and you've got to use water. Same thing with the water-soluble pens. You got to use water. Then I ordered, this is cute. I had a little trash can that I showed you all. I bought this as a test. It's called Stay Tidy. Let me show it to you. Stay Tidy. And it's a little bitty mini trash can. And I had used a house mini trash can. Like, it's no bigger than this, and it has a little push top. So I wanted to compare that to this, and then I'll go later and compare the price points. But it's for like when you're cutting, or if you're sewing and you've got your little threads, especially for the embroidery machine where you're always cutting off the little thread tails. I thought this would be really cute. So the top comes off so you can pitch it. It's like a cup. and then you push in here. And that's what I like about this one. The other one I had to, it was either open or closed, whereas this one you just push it and it snaps back. So I do like that so far. And if I don't like the fact that the lid comes off easy, I can always put a piece of tape on the back to help hold it on if I need to. And then I can just use it as a hinge. Duct tape will work great. If it doesn't, you know, if I find like this comes off, or if it falls over and the lid comes off. Or you can put a little weight, something with weight in the bottom. So I just got this as a test to see what it looked like. Stay tidy. All right, one last thing is I'm always needing and using lights. And I thought I had a good light from my desk from my good friend Jason, but found out that it's just more for a computer screen. So I'm not getting light on my desk. So I wanted to look at this light to see if it would work. This is the Smart Go Art Light. I think it's an art light. It's a daylight. Why did I say art light? Daylight. It's not art. I have art light right here. This is not an art light. This is a Smart Go light, and it is a daylight. And I will get to test this out, and then I'll come back and let you know what's going on with that. So it looks like it's USB charging. Let's see what it says on the sides. Lightweight and portable, 3-step dimmer, rechargeable for up to 6.5 hours of light, which means to me that I can run this light without having power for 6 hours. So that's better, because I didn't realize that, because I looked for that on the checker site. I didn't go to the manufacturer site, and I didn't see that, and I go, girl, you just need a light, don't worry about it. But it's so that's even better, so I can take it places. Bright daylight LEDs provide true color matching, and then it's internal rechargeable battery, USB compatible. All right, so I'm happy about that part. And if it's USB rechargeable, I can actually plug this into any of my sewing machines that has a USB. When I'm traveling, I can use this in that port. You know, if I decide to pick those heavy machines up. Like, I only take my Bernina when I'm going to a quilt retreat that's, you know, I'm staying 2 or 3 nights. I don't do it for just day sewing out. They've got some paperwork in here. It's really pretty. It's very little, very light. Oh my goodness, it's coming on already. Just opening it up. So, and I don't know. It's okay. So you have to touch it to get different brightness. So it has 4 powers. I don't know. I'm going to have to read, but it's got 4 buttons right there, but only 2 of them are lit. And I touch it again, and it's still only 2 of them lit. So I don't understand that part. And this is the highest setting of light, which you all are not going to be able to see there. But yeah. So yeah, this is just, oh, I got another light on me. Hold on. So this light on me. I can cut one more off. So that is just this light on me with no power plugged in. And I don't know if it's going to get brighter when if I plug it in or anything like that. But I'm thinking not. But yeah, it's really pretty though. And the light, any light is better than, you know, no light when you need lighting when you're in a dark area. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So, And I'm wondering, I think maybe those 4 things are how much is charged, just half charged. So I need to charge the other half. That's what that is. And that's it for the haul. I told you all I would show you, well, that's it for the haul that you're going to see anyway. I told you all that I would show you what I had ordered from Checkers. And like I said, a lot of this stuff has been on back order or new product for the light. It was the first time it came out, so I've been waiting on that for a while. So let's just toss this back in the box here. And I'm in the process of packing up orders for people that got stuff for an order. I got 1 box done and a label done. I just ain't sent the tracking. And I try to do all the packaging first and then do all the weighing and then do all the measurements and then do all the labels at one time. So it's like it's a process when I'm sending stuff out. I can't wait for the retreat also. That was Benita. Benita missed Left-Handers Day. I posted it on Facebook. Quilted Cow will be in St. Peter's too. That's a new quilt shop that's coming in. Remo is reminding people to hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. She says step out and step back in. Hey, Christina says, I got your birthday celebration party gift. Thank you. You're welcome, Christina. You don't know what she's talking about? Most times, I'm not going to say every year, but I have done it for a while, where I have, on my birthday, I have birthday bash party, and sometimes you have to meet certain requirements in order to be put into the drawing. And this time, you just had to have chat posted in a chat that I pulled. I pulled 3 of my July chats before my birthday. Whoever commented in those chats, I put you into the drawing. Other times, I'd say just send me a birthday card so that I know you're a watching active subscriber, and then I will do that. So this time you had to be a Teaquilts subscriber because you can only chat if you are a subscriber. And so that's what I did, was I did my birthday bash for my subscribers, my active subscribers. Francis Jackson is here. Glory Jean is here. Michelle the Quilter says, I like Choco liners in many colors. And I already got in my cart for me to get the blue, and I think they got yellow too, because I'm just a nut when it comes to stuff like that. I like the stuff. I want the goods, and I need them in all colors, okay? I forgot to put by Annie in there. We don't want to be thinking I got one in here and it's not in here. So I don't need to put all 3 of them in here because I got places to store stuff. It's just that I have to get up and go get everything, and they're all in different directions because this is with tapes and adhesives. Then I've got like interfacing in particular places, and I got buttons over here, and it's like, it's too much. Okay, so let's talk about this Pfaff Creative Vision sewing machine that's sitting in front of me, and we're almost out of time, but it's not a whole lot to say about it at this time. But I ended up seeing this put on Facebook Marketplace. So I just want to share, because I share with you all the good things. I want to share, you know, when things are not so good, okay? So I went onto the Facebook Marketplace, saw this Pfaff, and it was a Pfaff embroidery machine, which you can see the unit here. And I decided that I had already dropped this machine off at the shop, but hadn't gotten it back yet. And the gentleman that's worked on the machine, informed me that the Elissimos are becoming so obsolete that they can't even get parts for them because the parts that were used in it are not used in any later models. And so it was only used in this machine. This was the very first Elissimo, and I think the Elissimo Gold too, because I'm thinking they had the same parts for all of this stuff. So I can't remember what year. I didn't, you know, that stuff is never put onto your sewing machines. And I don't know how to look up any machine other than an old Singer, okay? Because I tried looking up to see how old this machine was, and I think it ended up being, and I don't have that piece of paper, but I think it ended up being like 2016. 2008, okay? So 2008. But at the time, I remember this machine being in the store, and this machine won Pfaff some kind of sewing machine award, some kind of red dot award or something like that. I can't remember what they call it. Made in Germany. And so the base of the machine is a great machine. So I ended up buying it, and when I went to the place, the guy was just like, he had it all packed up, and he was like, gonna toss it into my car. And I go, no, I need to make sure that it's going to work. and so we plugged it in. It didn't work. We plugged it in, and everything lit up and came up, and then every time I went to go sew, it would cut off, like it had a short or something like that. And then I went into the books, and I got the books, and I started reading about threading to make sure it was threaded right, because some of these machines, and this is a very smart machine, if something isn't right, instead of it doing what it don't want to do, it'll just shut off, or it'll stop, or give you some kind of warning message, which is good on some things and other times can be frustrating. So I started reading the book, and I realized it was threaded correctly. I'd start looking at the bobbin, how they insert the bobbin, and they say use genuine Pfaff bobbins. So I opened the bobbin case to make sure that it was a genuine Pfaff bobbin. I didn't see Pfaff on top. In the book, it says make sure that Pfaff is reading up right side up. So I went and flipped the bobbin around to read the Pfaff side up, put it back into the thing, and then the machine ran for that period of time. So I sewed, say maybe 2-3 minutes on the machine, okay? So I packed this machine up. Good night, Sue. So I packed the machine up with the embroidery arm. They've got it in the Pfaff original bags. It's got all 3 hoops. It's got every foot in here. So I'll be, it's got all the feet that came with the machine. It has front and back storage, which I do like. On the embroidery module, it even has a storage, which I have never seen before. So, it had the original manual. It had the original USB to, for transferring your designs over. Even had this Stylist, everything. It came from their mom. I think it was his wife's mom had passed, and so they were finally going through her stuff. How long the machine sat, I don't know. So I get the machine home, and I decide I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to just go ahead and take it to the shop, because I haven't. So I left it in my car and took it to the shop like within 2 or 3 days, because I knew I was going to have to pick this machine up. So I said, when I pick this machine up, I'll just drop this machine off. So I dropped this machine off at the shop, get a call from the shop saying that every time they go to sew, that it won't sew. So I started doing some Googling on, Googling on Google to see if I can find anything in any of the forums talking about this machine at all. And this is the Pfaff Creative Vision, and they do have like 5.0 on it, but then sometimes I'll see like P80. I don't know what that means, what P80 means, but it's the same machine if you're Googling and looking for this. And I found out that some people in the forum, it was 2 people in there saying that they had the power thing go out, and I'm talking about the internal power that's on the inside of the machine, receiving your presser foot and your regular AC power for us in the USA. So that went out. I got the bill here. How much was that? I don't want to tell tall tales. It was $133 for that part. And then I took it in for regular general service to make sure. They tell you that machines don't take oil, but they don't tell you that machines need grease. And so even when a machine says it doesn't need to be oiled, when you take your machine into these places, every time a machine has told me it don't need any oil, when I see these technicians working on these machines, they putting oil in it and they're putting grease in it. So I don't fully understand why they're telling us not to oil anything, but that's what it is, okay? But anyway, it apparently needs grease. And the reason why I know it needs grease, because I went and bought some after I got this machine home from the shop. I picked it up Saturday. I didn't sew on it Saturday. Sunday, I came in here and I sewed on it, and I didn't take the embroidery unit because I hadn't taken any of my embroidery units in. Matter of fact, when I used to take them in, they told me not to bring them. Well, when I go to start sewing on Sunday, this was squeaking, like had a squeak noise, and it was also squeaking at the flywheel, but it has since stopped. But when I started reading, I saw a YouTube video of one of the guys that service the Pfaff machines telling us to buy this particular oil, which is Triflow Clear Synthetic Grease. And this is what I bought from Amazon. And I just put some on a Q-tip and ran it along this track. And I'm also going to do it over here, although it's not leaking. I mean, it's not squeaking, but it hasn't been to the shop in an eon of years either. And I'm like, you can't tell me that all these parts and stuff don't need some grease at some time, or some kind of oil or lubrication at some time. So, but yeah, so I put this on here. It stopped this squeaking. I did not do anything with the flywheel, as I didn't hear it doing it as I was using it continuously. But this I didn't take to the shop, so maybe they oiled the flywheel. I have no idea, but it was squeaking really bad when I got it, but it has since stopped on its own. With the service, normally service is about, let me see what they charge me for service. It also needed the needle threader holder replaced, which I didn't see a problem with that when I dropped it off, because I had threaded it at the place when I had it. So I don't know why that had to be replaced, but that was only a $3 part. So, and then here in the St. Louis area, I've told you all over and over again, service here is high. It was $170 just for the basic service cleaning. So I ended up spending, just say, $320 on this machine to get it up and running. Now, I sewed on it Sunday. I did some in the hoop machine embroidery. I did some regular sewing, just some pieces. Let's see. I was just chain sewing just to see what it looked like. And I did chain sew some of these strings that I have laying up here. Like, at least they're in usable sizes that I can do something with. Got a whole lot more over here. So then today, like, I didn't go to bed till 7 a.m. today. So yeah, I couldn't sleep at 2. So I got up about 2:30, 3 o'clock out of bed. I was just laying there, looking at the sparkles in my ceiling. So I went ahead and got up, came in here and said, okay, I'm going to machine embroider. Something that I could have done in an hour. By 7, I still did not have it done, okay? That's something that I could do in an hour. Thread is constantly breaking on this, and I changed to a machine embroider. I put a Smith's machine embroidery needle. I don't know if it doesn't like, and I got to still test what it doesn't like. I don't know if it doesn't like the bobbin thread, although it was working fine on Sunday. I was able to do what I could do in an hour with no problem. But when I came back early this morning, so I haven't sewed on it anymore. I feel like it was sewing fine. I still got it set up for machine embroidery. The only thing I don't like is this thing is huge. If you get bigger space to sew, this thing takes up this whole entire desk. I had to take all of my design boards down. I just put the one back up for right now. But this thing is huge, and the maximum width from the needle to the wall over here is like 11 inches. So I'd say you can probably embroider 9-ish, maybe 10 by 14 inches with this particular system. So my current system, the Elysimo, does 8 by 12. So it's a little bit bigger I can't figure out how to get the knee lift to work. I put it in there and it doesn't engage. But it does say that it's an electronic knee lift. So I don't know what that means. I haven't seen anybody talk about it in the book. It just says insert it with the flat prongs up, which I have been doing, but I can't get this thing to raise and lower the presser foot. I don't know if it's because it won't do it when you've got the IDT on, which is the, it's like stitch regulation, you know. Pfaff actually came out with it first, and then Bernina added it to their machines. So it does have 3 hoops. I like Pfaff hoops better than any other hoop I've ever had or used. Let me show you that. This is my Juki knee lift. I've been trying to do a video on the Juki and the brother, but it keeps raining, so I haven't been able to do that. But I like the Juki, the Pfaff hoops, because they have this little snap here. So you have a screw here, and say you set your hoop tension to whatever it is that you want to use with the screw. After you've closed this, you set the tension with the screw here. And then the next time you hoop, when you're doing continuous projects, which is what I'm doing, then you don't have to mess with the screw every time. And then it also saves your screw, so you don't have to worry about your screw stripping out. I haven't had that happen, but I know that my hand starts to hurt on my Elissimo hoop. I use either a hoop turner, which I have, or I'll put what you put on the end of your pencils. When you don't want to get the pencil hurts your hand down up in here when you're holding the pencil, I put those onto these screws so that they're not always affecting my hand. But I do like that I only have to set it once, and once I set it once, then I just open this part, take my hoop out, re-hoop with just my stabilizer, put it back in the hoop. I don't have to touch the screw. I just close this and it's done. So I think this is fantastic. I even like how their hoop goes on. It's more simpler than any other one too. So I even like that part. I like how it goes on and it comes off. The brother has like I'm saying brother because baby lock underneath is brother, okay? But it has like this track you've got to ride into, and it's like kind of bulky-ish. And then sometimes it act like you might want to get stuck and not go all the way through. And then you have just a hand crank you've got to turn down. If you don't turn that down and you're not paying attention because your stabilizer and fabric could be over here, and you go put your presser foot down and it's going to still be red, you can't hit the start button. It's because your door here isn't shut. Whereas here, once it's in, you hear it click, it's in, you don't have to worry about it. And then it's very easy to take out. You just press the lever and it pulls right back out. I think Pfaff is fantastic for this. Now, I can't figure out why it's breaking thread all the time. And I've been doing some research. I seen one guy has a YouTube video showing where he's added different things to bypass this and go into that. And he got 2 different places. And I'm like, that's too high tech for me. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that, because I don't even want to machine embroidery if you're going to keep breaking. And that was the main reason that I got it. But like I said, Sunday I machine embroidered and didn't have any thread breakage. So I don't know. All I did was came in here, got a spool of thread, used it, and then it started breaking. And so then I even went to a different spool of thread. I put the thread, because we've got where you can sit you probably can't see it here, but you can sit your thread thing comes up and down. You can see my hand. So I tried it with the thread laying horizontal. I tried with the thread vertical. I tried different spools of thread. And it just was breaking galore this time. So I don't know. And I haven't done any more. I just left it alone so that I didn't throw it out my back door. So I just kind of left it alone. I need to do some regular sewing on it, put back in regular thread, because I didn't have any thread breakage when I was doing regular thread. I need to verify that this is, and put back in a regular sewing needle. I need to verify that this is happening only on machine embroidery. I can't take this machine into a shop and tell them what the problem is if I don't know what the problem is myself, because they're not going to sit there and troubleshoot it. You got to do all that, and then you got to tell them what's wrong with your machine when you take it back. So that's what I'm currently doing, okay? Goodness gracious. Let's see. I haven't read the comments. Let me read the comments real quick before we get off of here. Let's see. And Deborah says that her baby lock manual says take it to the professional to all. Exactly. Normally, like on Pfaff, I think, and Janome, and I can't remember what other brand. I thought it was 3, but I know Pfaff and Janome has said, you know, these machines don't need any oil, just clean. They just tell you where to clean. And it's like, there is absolutely no way that this machine doesn't need any oil at all, ever. But then they'll tell you, make sure you take it in for a yearly service. Well, what do you think is happening at your yearly service? Yeah, right. Don't let them fool you. Carla Ford is here. Hi, Carla. Carissa says, I had 2 tables set up for my giant sewing cabinet and a dining table butted up next to it. Yeah, I just didn't believe this thing was this huge. In order for you to, if you're trying to get a super large embroidery frame, just all of this space from here all the way to this container back here that you all have seen. Yeah, it's like it takes the whole desk, literally. And I don't have any room to like put the hoop in. If I can come over here and hoover over here and get the hoop in. But if I'm trying to, like, while something is running, trying to trim or square up, I got to get up out of here. And if I put it over here, that machine's going to come back to be on this part of the desk. It's going to be on the other part, not just on this L. So, yeah, this machine takes up a lot of space for machine embroidery. So, it's huge. Sheila's here. Hi, Sheila. I'll be contacting you. I'm going to be putting your thing in the mail. Brenda Foley is here saying good evening. Remo says that Pfaff is picky about thread. Well, I'm about to figure all of that out. So I'm going to go back to regular sewing, because I could have had done over here in an hour what I spent from 3 to 7, 4 hours, and still well, I guess I didn't go to bed at 7, must have been 8, because then I came over here and finished what I needed to finish for the hour, okay? Because I'm like, I am not going to bed without this finished, because I know I won't go to sleep then. But yeah, so I went back to my old trusty. People knock baby lock machines, but I'm telling you, they are the easiest, most straightforward machine to machine embroider on. Basically, you pull up you cut it on. You tell it whether you want to go to sewing mode or embroidery mode. Whereas this machine knows what's hooked up and what foot is on. It knows what mode to go into. Yes, that's a nice feature. All I got to do is tell it I want to sew, I want to go to embroidery, and then on this one, it's got embroidery edit. So if I don't want to edit anything, I've already done it on my software. I just want to digitize. I want to just sew whatever is digitized out. I don't have to worry about that. And then I've got the sew edit mode, where if I want to add some text or take some steps out or something like that, or increase the size, decrease the size, yeah, you got the edit mode. So then once that happens, I go click on the open folder, pull up my design. And then once my design is up there, I hit set so it can pick that design. And then I hit sewing. And guess what? I'm ready to sew. Not over on these. Pfaff isn't as bad as Bernina. It's a whole lot better than Bernina. I actually learned the Pfaff without even having to have the book. But you got to press a button in order to go into embroidery mode. and they don't have, over here, we have some words. Over here, we got icons, and you have no words. And if you don't know what the icons mean, I'm just over here just pressing buttons, because I ain't doing anything that's detrimental. So I'm just pressing buttons. And when I couldn't get out of something, I just cut the machine off and cut it back on. Now I know how to get in and out of everything, as I've been messing with it, trying to figure things out. But for some reason, it's breaking thread down here in this area right here. Like when it comes out, I can see it flopping and doing all kind of crazy stuff that it wasn't doing before. And I have no idea why it's doing that. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Just flopping thread, just flopping all out of here. Like down here, I'm seeing the thread flopping and going up and down. And it's in the tensions. I hold my thread when I put it through there. So, yeah. And then I meant to go to the hardware store today, but I haven't been outside, okay? And so I wanted to, because there's a screw here that's a star. You know, one of those star things. It's not a regular screwdriver screw, like a flathead or a Phillips. And yeah, so I need to go. I got one, but it's too long and I can't get it in there. So I need to go buy one that's short. See, they make this stuff so it's difficult for people to get into, and then the average person would just give up. Well, I'm not the average person, so I'm going to go to the hardware and I'm going to make sure I can get me one of those little star things in this particular size, or a whole set that's less than 2 inches long, the whole thing, okay? Because I got it all on I do have it already in here, but I have them on a thing like this. And even when I try to put it in the L format, it's this right here all the way out to here is too long. I can't sit it here with this open. I got to get the screw in here, and I can't reach it, okay? It's about 3/4 of an inch too short. So yeah. They make things so that you have a hard time getting into them, so that you're taking them into the dealer. Carla says she got her prize. Thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure. Love my socks. She wants socks. Viking does also. Did you get a retreat package from me too, Carla? Viking does that also. Remo says, I don't have a desire to own a Viking or Husqvarna sewing machine. Not right now. Hi, Jason. Remo says she quilts on her Pfaff. Hi, Ray. He telling me good night, everyone, so I can get off of here, but he didn't even say hi. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. My screen keeps popping up. I don't want to put anybody in timeout accidentally. Good night, Cheryl. Thank you for watching. She says she has to be up early. She's leaving. So, yeah. So, I like to share with you all the good Facebook finds that I find. And I also like to share with you all the not so good Facebook finds. And it's not that I'm not, like, happy. I'm going to figure it out, even if I have to contact that guy and ask him to send me some updated photos, and I may have to get my husband involved because he was using wire, and I don't know. I'm like, how did you get wire up there? Did you use like a glue gun, or are you soldering, or what? You know, I'm like, this is out of my league. I don't do that. But he had 2 pieces of wire, one wire up in here and a wire somewhere else. So I'm going to have to, you know, talk to him. I may have to end up, you know, writing on one of his videos and pray to God that he writes back to me and help me out by, you know, sending me some detailed photos, because he was doing this in a video. And in the video, you could see what he was talking about, but I couldn't see exactly where it was and what he made with this wire. He didn't take a picture of it before he put it in, and then it was very difficult to see because it's just this little slot that this thing is going into. And he said all of that, you know, stopped all of his thread breakage. So I'm like, OM to the G. Judy Smith is here. saying she's late, but she's trying to catch everybody before we log off. Good night, Delilah. And it sounds like a bird in that area that's catching the thread and shredding it. Yeah, because I'm telling you, and that's why I want to sew with some regular thread again, because like I told you, I had sewed these because I even ordered a 1/4 inch foot. I ordered, that hasn't come yet. And then I ordered bobbins that came. I ordered this from Sewing Machines Plus. It came. I ordered the oil, the grease, not oil, grease from Amazon. It came. But I'm waiting. I had ordered from Pfaff the 1/4 inch foot because I wanted to make sure that it was an authentic Pfaff 1/4 inch foot, because this machine knows. You can't fool this machine. It knows what foot is on here. So I didn't want to order that, because I've ordered these bobbins from Sewing Machine Plus, and true Pfaff bobbins have Pfaff written on them. Well, these are what they said were the original Pfaff bobbins, because that's what I told them I wanted. But there is no Pfaff on these bobbins, okay? So that's why they're still in the pack. Just pop down in the bottom. And, you know, when I use one, if it doesn't work, then I will, you know, just put them with my other Pfaff. I have a low-lying Pfaff. Well, I think they're different letter numbers, because Pfaff goes by letter numbers as to what type of bobbin. Well, you know, when they go into accessories, they'll say your machine is this letter. I got one that's a J and one that's a L. So, yeah, I think this one's a J. And my other one's a L. And I got those bobbins in blue so that I wouldn't get them mixed up when I ordered. So, but yeah, so I just got to do some figuring out, and there's no need, like I can take it back to this place, but I need to be able to tell them exactly what the issue is. If I don't tell them what the issue is, then there's no point in me taking it back to the place. So, yeah. And I'm also thinking about not taking it back to the place and taking it to an actual Pfaff dealership, because this place used to be a Viking Pfaff dealership, but I think they sold the Vikings more than they did participate in the Pfaff. And I feel like I need somebody that does Pfaff, but that's going to be a few miles out of the St. Louis area, because we don't have anybody currently that's selling Pfaff within the city limits of St. Louis. So, yeah, that's what's going on. I love my other Pfaff, so that's why I thought, oh, this would be a great thing to get, and I'll just take it to the shop, and, you know, it's a great machine. Parts should be available, blah, blah, blah. You know, I didn't know how old it was at the time, but I was like, I remember that years ago, even Pfaff had bigger hoops than everybody else, so it does have a bigger hoop, so that was good. I don't know how much I'll be using it because it's so huge. It's like, I would definitely have to use this on my dining room table with nothing else on, you know, like on that whole half of a dining room table. That's how much space you need for this machine, for real, for real. And then you need you know, you can walk around to the other side and do your hooping and, you know, have the rest of your projects where you're cutting your pieces and squaring up and whatever else you got to do. But you won't be doing it, all of that right here. There is just no way. And that's why I always sewed here, had my embroidery machine here so that I could take it off, put things in the hoop, trim whatever I needed to, pop it back on there. I could sit here and change my thread. The tracks were easy to get through. So people knock baby lock, but my personal opinion when it comes to machine embroidery, home sewing, I'm not talking about professional machines, home sewing, baby lock to me is by far, I've had this machine since, like, this is the first Elysimo I ever made. I don't know what year that was. It was a long time ago. And this machine hasn't been to the shop. All I do is just embroidery on it. When I first got it, I sewed on it for about a month just so I could learn the machine. I can't tell you nothing about the rest of this machine. I got the whole box full of different feet. It's deluxe box too. Everything that you can do on that baby lock, I got all the feet all in it, contained in a box. And it's got 2 of the 3 upgrades. I don't use all of that. All I want to do is make my quilt labels, do my in the hoop projects, do out my regular embroidery stitchings, freestanding lace, whatever it is that I'm doing straight embroidery. I don't need all that other stuff. So that's why it's always set up like that. And it's quick. I don't have to think about it. I have never had to go back and pull out the book. I may not embroider over here for 9 months. I come over here and cut the machine on. I can get my stuff done. Over here, a little bit of reading might be necessary if I don't do it for 9 months. The Bernina, you're going to have to start from the top. You ain't going to be able to skip. You cannot cut a Bernina on and get it to embroider without reading if you don't know what you're doing. Over here, you can futz your way into getting your stuff done very easy. So as far as easeability of embroidery machines, I've now used 4: Bernina, Pfaff, Baby Lock, and Singer. And Baby Lock still is a winner. Pfaff would be my second. I like all the stuff that they got going on in the machine. Just slightly complicated, but not overboard. I wouldn't recommend somebody that's not computer literate getting the Bernina. That's what happened. The reason why I bought it was because my friend had it and she couldn't get it to embroider. She wasn't computer literate at all. I can get it to embroider, but I don't want to remember all them steps. And so I just don't embroider on my Bernina. Now, I am going to pull my Bernina up, and I'm going to have to find what I did with all the Bernina stuff. I got all the Bernina stuff in a case. It's in my back storage room. So I'm going to have to go and figure that out. And one of these days, I'll embroider with the Bernina again. But I wasn't impressed. I'm like, this is too much work. So, yeah. So that's where we are. I just want to be honest with you guys. If you get nothing else from me, you always get my honesty. So on this one, I should not have probably purchased this particular machine since I had problems with it when I was there. But in my head, it was like, I really want this thing to work because I want a Pfaff embroidery machine. And I'm happy and I like what it does when it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's actually the fastest. It sews faster than this. I'm not sure if it goes faster than my Bernina. I had to slow this thing down. I got it at midpoint. If you put it all the way up on high, it's like this thing is just like on drugs or something. I'm like, you don't need to be doing anything that fast. So I put it on half point. And then when it started breaking thread, I put it at like 1/4 point because you can do 25, 0%, you ain't sewing, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100. So I put it at 50%, and that to me was still fast enough, especially when you're doing in the hoop stuff where you're trying to smooth your fabric out. Like if you're trying to smooth something out when you're putting a piece down, like say you're putting a piece of batting down and it needs to base that into place, but you want to make sure it doesn't pucker. So you kind of just use your hand. You kind of go around. You don't want to stitch your fingers. It's a little art to it. But, you know, you don't want a machine going 90 miles per hour while you got your hands in there. I was like, oh, no. So it is a fast stitching machine as far as machine embroidery goes. But I would never run it at top speed. I would probably have a heart attack sitting here listening to all of that. Okay? But I'm hoping I can figure out why it's doing that. I have to figure out, like Remo was saying, maybe check some different threads, things like that. Sheila said, what's the name of this Pfaff? I talked about that too. It's the Pfaff Creative Vision, and it's 5.0, but also I've seen where somebody had it listed as P80, and I think P80 is underneath it on the tag. But when I open up here, it's got 5.0 up here. And again, it was made in 2008 was the year that it came out. I don't know what year this particular model was made because I can't find anywhere that you can plug in a serial number for anything other than Singer machine. So if any of you all know how I can find out the age of any other brands, because I got all kinds of brands of sewing machines, but I've only been able to find the age of my Singer sewing machines. So Sue says, I've been very happy with my Elegante. Elegante was the model right before the Elissimo. And if I'm not mistaken, Sue, those parts are still available. So if you got an Elegante, do not sell it. Make sure you keep your Elegante. This one came out because I think you could do 8x12. I can't remember what the max on Elegante. I'm not sure if it's 8x8 or if it's 6x10. But this one replaced the Elegante. I'm using, right now I am using the sulky thread. I've used it on my baby locks and my Bernina, didn't have a problem. I do have some Robeson Anton thread that was in the case. I don't know if it came with this machine. It was still new. What did I do with that thread? I thought I took it out, but I don't see it right here. But I have that brand. I might have, I got other brands of thread over here, but I got it covered. It might be Robeson Anton. I do have a few pieces of Madeira thread I could try. So I do have some different threads I can try. What threads are you all using on your, if you have a Pfaff embroidery machine? Let me know. Sheila says, listen to this. I am very happy I purchased the Baby Lock Altar. I don't know what that is back in April. I don't know how to pronounce it, so forgive me, Sheila. But I have been a strong believer. Okay, Remo. She sent me some link. I'll look at it when I get off of here. I have been using Baby. I started out with Singer. And I think my first Singer I got that embroidered was 2001, and that was the Singer XL 1000. And that software, like the digitizing software, was an absolute nightmare. But I was determined that I was going to learn it. But I'd learn it and then go a month not digitizing anything, come back, and it was like starting over. So I hated it. And so then I stopped. I just embroidered on it. I didn't digitize anymore. And then I went from that to the Baby Lock Elagio. No problems whatsoever with running that machine. And then I also bought Designer Gallery's brand of embroidery software, and I learned to use it. I'm able to go back in there without having to get the book to do the basics, stuff that I do. I don't do full digitizing. If I do, I have a software program called Embroidery that I'll use, and I have to read that, but it at least converts files for me. So that's why I got the Embroidery software, and I like that for what I use it for. And then getting the Bernina and realizing that they don't renamed everything. That was totally unnecessary when you're trying to do go from learning curve. I think Bernina wants to lock you in to Bernina world. And so that way you won't go back to anybody else. But I wasn't impressed with all them different steps I had to go through just to embroider in Bernina. And this Pfaff, like I said, it's just slightly complicated, not bad. You could easily learn it. You just need to know what the buttons are because they have no words on anything. It's all icons. And so you don't know what an icon is until you learn it. So, but yeah. But Sue says 6x10. Yeah, so that's what happened with why this one came out, because it's a 8x12. And I really don't embroider anything bigger than 8x12. But there's been a time or two that I've seen some things and I go, oh, I can't even embroider that because it's 9 by blah blah. And then this machine will do that, and I thought that would be a good thing for me to do. And I'm not like giving up on it. I like to be open and honest, so I'm letting you all know. I've had this machine. This machine was in the shop since right after retreat. Remember, I started taking my machines to the shop after retreat. So this machine was in the shop over a month because they had to figure out what was wrong with it. And then they had to order the part. And then I called them like 2 weeks after they had it. The part hadn't come in, but they had called me a week after I had it saying they need to order the part. But another week, the part still hadn't come in. And so then you know, it's a process. So all my other machines I got back within a week. This machine, it was over a month. Is there a way to use some sort of thread conditioner on the machine? There is like some thread stuff that you can put on, but I prefer not to do that. If it wants a particular brand of thread, although I wouldn't be happy with that, I will do that over putting lubricant into. I just prefer not to use any third-party stuff in my machines, even though they tell you that you can do that. I just prefer not to. I'd rather just go ahead and buy what I need to buy, because on most of my embroidery, I'm gonna use. I don't have to have a particular color. It's, you know, I can make black and white work if I need to, and then I can just buy basic colors. I don't have to have all the different shades. I can just buy a blue thread or red thread, you know, and so forth. So Kim says she doesn't have a Pfaff, but she used the RA thread for her baby lock. I don't know what the last, I don't know if it's Anton. I can't, because I don't have a spool in front of me, but I know it's Robeson. And this is all sucky in front of me. And then I got some Floriani thread here. I thought Floriani had thread. I do have a couple spools of Floriani right here. I have a spool of Madeira Silver metallic. That's not going to work for regular work, because you can't be messing with metallics if it's breaking regular thread. You got to figure out. I see one. I don't know what I did with the thread. I took it out of the case. I just don't know what I did with that thread. And we're on here late, guys. I'm sorry. I'm up here trying to get some help too while I tell you all, you know, the issues. Robeson Anton. Anton. So I do have this. This one is mine. She had, in the embroidery case, she had about, trying to make sure it's not in here. Nope. She had about 6 spools of thread, and I'm thinking they must have come with it. And some of them weren't even open. I can't even remember if any of them were open, but this is the thread that was in the machine. So I'll try a different thread. You know, I'm a glutton for punishment. But I tell you what, I won't be using my good fabric. I'll be using some test stuff this time when I start using this machine. I won't use anything that I got to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? So when I get stressed and don't like it, I can just take it off and trash it, you know. My other stuff, I needed it. Good night, Miss Vivian. Remo says, I use the embroidery and sewing RA, and that's what this is. This is embroidery thread. It's a polyester. No, this is a rayon. This is a rayon. The reason why I never converted to this, because I thought it was polyester. It's saying it's rayon. I take my machines to a Pfaff authorized dealer. That's what I'm thinking I need to do. And that's where I thought I was. That's why, I drove all the way across town to take it to this place. I passed like 4 other places I could have taken this machine to, and then get across town. And after they had checked me in, I go, do you all still sell Husqvarna and Pfaff? They go, no, we're solely baby lock. And then she tried to tell me that they had never sold that before. I said to her, girl, I've been coming here since 2001. I know every machine they don't sold in here. And she didn't even know that they used to be on Singer authorized only dealers, okay? That's where I bought my Singers from. So I don't know what she was talking about, but I know exactly what they were doing in there. Sheila says, I use exquisite thread from Dime on both my Janome and baby locks with no problem. And I have... it's not their brand, but I use a metallic thread that they recommend. So I got Madeira, my Madeira threads back here. This is silky. That is not what I'm looking for. It's like King something. It's like, here it is. It's metallic thread. King Star is the best metallic thread on the planet. I've used some of these spools and I just love it. I didn't have any breakage whatsoever. But I had a spool of regular gold up there. I got to get my stuff back in order. It's going to fall off. But yeah, my cousin has the same Singer machine. That Singer machine makes you want to throw it out the window. I gave my cousin a few hours trying to use that piece of mess. It's the embroidery software that was bad, and you always had to go through the software to get the stuff onto your, they had Singer cards that you had to put into the machine. I still got all of it, but when I went to go try to use the software, the new computer systems won't even read that software anymore. So it's a waste. Somebody found a way to get around it, like putting your machine into a second booting thing and using an old format to boot up. And I said, I'm not doing all of that. I got too many sewing machines to be worried about that. I had the Elagio and the Baby Lock. Well, not the Baby Lock, the Elissimo, because they're both Baby Locks. The Elagio and Elissimo are both Baby Lock brands. So I had two Baby Lock brands. So I wasn't worried about that Singer. The Singer, I had relegated it to free motion machine embroidery before I got my long arm. Well, once I got my long arm, I no longer use it. But it was fine on the actual machine when you put the card in to get it up to read to embroider. But it was getting it to the card, that whole process of doing that and going into the digitizing software, which was a nightmare if you were trying to digitize anything at all. And it made no sense. They didn't even use regular Windows, like, you know how you do file, save? They didn't even do regular Windows format in their software like everybody else did. So, yeah. Hi, Lady Crafts. Yolanda says she checked the tension as well. I did. I played with the tension. The guy in the video said he had the tension all the way up to like 6.5, and I can't see. It was hard for me to pull the thread through. At 2.8 is the regular standard tension for machine embroidery. And I tried pulling that thread, and I couldn't even pull that thread. So I'm like, and I reduced it to all the way down to like 2. I increased it all the way up to like 4. I'm like, I am not finna put in 6.5, and it probably would have worked, but I'll never know because I'm not doing that. That don't even sound right to me. But like I said, he put in 2 additional tension things up under here somewhere to keep that thread from popping out. You could see the thread literally just like having a party. And I'm like, you were not doing that Sunday. Like, what in the heck is going on? So, but yeah. So there's something, I don't know, I think, because I don't really have time to be like playing with this. I'm going to set this back up for regular sewing right now because I'm in the middle of like sorting stuff. I need to machine quilt for folks. I ain't got time to be, I wasn't expecting this to be a problem. I thought I was going to come in here, do another hour today because I did it on Sunday and I almost put the machine up then, and I go, no, they haven't seen the machine, so let me keep it. So then I come in here this morning and it's a total hot mess. And I don't have time to play with this right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it up so I have peace of mind so that your girl can sleep when she want to go to sleep. I'm going to put it back into regular sewing mode. I'm going to sew on a few more strings to make sure that it's sewing regular and not breaking thread. And if it's doing that, then I'm going to put it up because it can be used at retreat. And my 1/4 inch foot is coming, so I'll put that up when it comes. And we're going to just park this little machine until I've got like way more time that I can devote to, figuring it out and not stressed. And then when you're doing something bulk and something takes 4 or 5 hours and you still ain't finished with it, and I still had to go over here after I got, because you try to have patience. Y'all know how I work through things over here. I try to have patience, not like let it show visually, not have all this stuff stewing on the inside. I'm like, okay, we're going to try this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I've increased tension, changed the needle, changed the bobbins. I made sure the bobbin was threaded right, that it wasn't the bobbin causing the problem. And this thing just was doing what it wanted to do. When I saw that thread, when I finally saw the thread, because I'm busy looking at the machine embroidery like it's right here, but I'm looking at it moving around. So I'm basically just watching the foot. I wasn't paying attention. I had shut off my peripheral vision. So I was like, Now we got to do something else. So, but I don't have time to play with this right now, but I am going to set it back up for regular sewing. And then I'm just going to make sure that it's not shredding that. I'm just going to make a couple more of these string blocks, and then this is going to get put on the shelf, because even if I'm within warranty of taking this back in so that they can fix it, I don't know if I want them to, because yeah, I don't remember all of this happening. Like, it didn't happen before when I sewed on it to test sew it. It didn't happen when I sewed on it Sunday. And then all of a sudden it's just doing it, you know, today. And it might sew totally different tomorrow, you know. I don't know. But I don't have time for that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just put it up. We're on here an extra 40 minutes. Good Lord. Your girl is winded. So I think that's going to be it. I don't see any comments after Yolanda's comment about the tension. So I think I am going to go ahead and end here. I don't know. They saying I should try the embroidery thread. Maybe I should take the needle out too and make sure that I got the needle in there good. I probably need to do that as well. But like I said, it was doing the same thing pre-needle change and after needle change. So it didn't really make a difference. So I just saw Carla have a comment come up, but then nothing else. So I'm missing some comments. Hold on for a second. Because every once in a while I tell you where this thing... Okay, so I just see them. They're coming up now. I had to go back out and see them. So you all are just saying good night. So you all stay blessed. Be safe, everybody, and quilt out. Deuces.